Ah. And then we have Brenda. Look at that. Brenda finally
Hi,
joined us.
Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Long time no see.
Then we got Sean. Yay, yay, yay. Great job.
Hi, guys.
Now, why did... are we on?
It says live
Yeah.
124
All right.
and counting. It just popped up on my phone that you're live.
All right. That's what
Yep, popped up on mine too.
And then we have Square Table, Degenerates Podcast. Welcome. So, first we're going to start. Go ahead and then introduce your channel, Willie.
Hi, I'm Steve Brahms from the Steve Brahms channel. And I do a lot of odd stuff, like grow vegetables and work on old junk and farm. It's fun.
Yep. Go ahead, Johnny.
So my name's Johnny. My channel is called Prepping Life. It's basically about what it's like to be a prepper in an urban situation. I haven't made a video in quite a while, just because life has kind of happened. Got a couple of promotions at work and been busier than a one-legged parts guy at a junkyard. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what my channel's about. I do automotive stuff. I do, I'm planning on doing some like cooking stuff, and not just like on the stove, but like ways to cook in your apartment if you have no gas or electric, things like that.
Awesome.
How not to freeze to death in an apartment when they shut your power off when it's sub-zero.
Yeah,
that's actually a good video idea. I should do that. That's a great idea for a video. Yep. Actually,
it'd be very fitting for like today
or the last week.
Yep.
Today was the first day it's been above 0 degrees.
I already went through a few people. Kaylin Strain, Prep for It, Brenda, Sean. We got Square Tables Degenerate Podcast. We have Trey Azell, my brother. How are you? And then we have a special young man out there, Jordan Ralph. If you guys remember, you remember him, Willie? He camped with us. This is Lee Ralph's grandson.
Yeah, so, I thought that's who it looked like. I had to squint at the picture.
So welcome, Jordan, and we have plain old Chuck. Yep.
Hey, Chuck, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, Chuck.
Yeah, I did copy your hairdo, Chuck. Yep. And then we have, okay, they're undergoing that right now in Air Force bases down in the South. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about, before we get into our topic, Willie, can you remind everybody of the dates for Jeremiah?
March 26th, 27th, and 28th. We're having the second annual Country Prepper Memorial Campout here in Southwest Iowa. If you would like to know more information on it, feel free to email me at stevebrahms@gmail.com and we will get you answered.
Awesome. 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 All right. So today, of all days, this whole week, this last week, sub-zero temperatures, correct? All across the U.S., actually. All across the U.S. I mean, we were actually colder than Anchorage, Alaska for a few days, which was crazy. Willie, tell them about what you just had to go through.
I just got home from being at work for 55 hours to make sure nothing froze because we have vegetables up.
Yeah. Wow. So you did that because if anything goes wrong, you're there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
If one of the heaters would shut off, I'd be there to fix it right away. I actually slept in the greenhouse that way. If I got cold, I knew the furnace wasn't on.
So you slept in the greenhouse on a cot?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Johnny. You and I have camped quite a bit in cold weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we all, So there are a lot of people that ask me, what are tips and tricks to stay warm? Um, like, well, right now we would not go out camping. No, we're not stupid enough. But say your car breaks down, right? Johnny, you're an
Right.
urban prepper. Your car breaks down in this. What do you prepare? How do you prepare for it first?
Okay, so in every vehicle I own, and I have a few, I always keep extra blankets. And when I say blankets, I go complete overkill on that. Whatever sleeping stuff that I have in my vehicles is always going to be more warmer than what it's for. So like I've been camping with my 10-degree sleeping bag when I knew it was only going to get down to 40 because I can always peel layers off. It's hard to put layers on that I don't have. I'm also a huge fan of using Reflectix and sometimes a couple of layers of Reflectix as a sleeping pad. But I go complete overkill. Every vehicle I have in the back there is complete overkill as far as extra blankets, hand warmers, foot warmers, you know, the kind that you just expose to air and they get warm. Especially in the summer, it's not so big, but we're talking about cold weather. So in the winter, there is always extra blankets, and usually an extra change of clothes for everybody that might potentially be in that vehicle.
How about you? Well, I know Willie's car. Willie. Okay, so I already know how much stuff you have in your car. But what would you suggest for a person that breaks down? What is the first thing they should do?
Call somebody.
Absolutely.
Okay, no cell service. But okay, no. Actually you can call someone, but sometimes in this type of weather they can't get to you, right? So what is
It
the
might be
next
a couple hours out or whatever.
Yeah.
I
So
I'd never if the vehicle's still running, make sure the tailpipe's clear so you don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Because that would really suck. Sometimes it's best to crack a window depending on what, but I've got a bivy and a poncho that's lined in mine, and blankets and water and food.
you know that's crazy that you brought that up. We just heard on the news that a mother and daughter just passed away early this morning because they went into their car
In the garage.
in the garage,
I
closed.
left the door shut.
Yep. And
We
Oh,
run
they
the
passed
car to
away.
warm up.
Yep. Yeah,
That'll tell you, you got to
absolutely.
crack that garage door if you're going to go there.
Yeah. I think
Open it.
yeah. So if
Uh,
you are not mechanically inclined, right here, right? I am not mechanically inclined. First thing I would tell people is don't open that door. Don't go
Don't.
try to check
yeah,
it.
don't
Fix
let the
anything.
heat out.
Yeah, don't try to go fix something that you don't know. You know, just keep in there, crawl to the back or wherever you have your cold winter gear. And you know, I understand now. Some people keep it in the trunk. Now, if you must get out there, you must. But I never keep my stuff in the trunk. It's in the back seat.
An
Where I,
awful lot of people or a lot of vehicles, you can drop the back seat down and get into the trunk from the front. So that would even be still a better option. But then I
Yep,
would shut
that's
it back
true.
up as soon as possible so you're not maintain the heat as best as you
Right.
can.
Because those seat backs are going to be a layer of insulation in between you and the temperature in the trunk. And also, I have a tiny bit of an advantage because I am a licensed ham radio operator. So even if I don't have cell phone power or my cell phone is dead and say maybe my cigarette lighter doesn't work to charge my phone, I always, as part of my everyday carry, have with me a portable handheld ham radio. So if nothing else, even though it won't communicate very far, I can always get in touch with one of the local repeaters and reach out to my ham radio friends and say, hey, this is, if anybody cares to know, my call sign is KE0LYC. And I can let them know, hey, this is my situation. This is exactly where I'm at. Can somebody please send for help?
that's great. Yes, absolutely. So while you're waiting, you're going to stay warm as much as possible. You know, a lot of people tell you don't eat the snow, right? You may get thirsty
Absolutely.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
eat the
eat
snow.
snow.
Yeah. But let's say you're really thirsty. You're starting to. It's been a few hours. You know, what? It's been a few hours. What would you do next?
For me personally, if I'm in a situation like that when it's been a few hours since I've been able to have like a drink of water or something wet to make me feel not thirsty, if you make a chewing action, like you're chewing something, your mouth will naturally create saliva and make your mouth taste like you're less. It'll feel like you're less thirsty on like your tongue and the roof of your mouth and things like that.
Okay.
It's just a biological reaction when you make that motion because your body needs that to add lubrication to the food that's getting ready to go to your belly.
Awesome. So Sean says melt the snow first, right? That's great.
Yes.
That's great, but I'm not going to build a fire inside my car.
Well, you know, I have, because I have a van kind of like thing, you know.
Yes, you
So
do.
I actually did in the very back of my van. I was able, because it's big enough where I can have my little stove in there and stuff like that. So, you know,
A
I
coffee
had
can and candles kept an awful lot of people alive for a lot of years.
yeah,
When I
absolutely.
Yep, I
And then
lived
you
in a
could
van
melt
for a
snow on
while.
top of it.
Well, I was
Yeah,
reading this thing that said that you could take is it Terra pot, right? It's like
A
a clay
top,
pot.
oh, a clay pot, like a
Yeah,
flower
and
pot.
then
A
yeah,
terracotta. That's the word you were thinking.
terracotta, yeah. And then if you put some candles under there, it will heat up enough. No, not
nope.
true.
I was reading about them exploding the pots because it was too hot and causing more problems.
Oh, really? Oh,
Clay
wow.
pots aren't made for heat. They're made to hold flowers.
Yeah,
Ah, so
if
that's
you're
the
gonna do
good thing
something,
stuff.
I have
Go
some
ahead,
visual
Johnny.
aids sitting next to me. So
Hi, Kyle.
if you're gonna do something like that, you want something like a coffee can because it won't explode. I actually, this is going to be the subject of another video, but you want something. Yeah, the terracotta pots will explode. They're not made for heat, like Willie said. They're made for growing plants in. Everybody's quiet.
Sorry, guys. I just got a text message.
Oh, you're good.
And Jordan, you're in trouble by your grandpa. Okay. So then let's talk about.
That would work, Kayla.
Oh, we know if you're out there, right? Car. Like you found. On here. Yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry. I have noises going on everywhere. But anyways, cold weather camping. Let's talk about cold weather camping, and then we're going to come back to the situation that's happening down in Texas. But let's talk about cold weather camping. What are suggestions for people to stay warm, right? We'll go with Johnny.
My first suggestion for staying warm is always lots of thin layers because, and this is something my mother preached to me when I was a child, and I didn't believe, and I didn't believe, and I didn't believe, and finally it soaked in that if you have a bunch of thinner layers, as far as your clothing goes, you're creating a dead airspace in between each layer. So like when I go to work, because I work at a parts store, and so I have to go outside in the cold to change batteries, wiper blades, things like that. And so I will wear a long sleeve shirt and my work shirt, and then I will have a down jacket, and then I will have a winter coat to go over top of that. And that's also important because you don't want to get too warm and start sweating. If you get too if you get too warm and start sweating, that's a problem. Also, something else that I see people on camping channels do when they're out cold is their fingers will get cold and they'll do this. And that's bad because it puts moisture on your skin, and that moisture will contract the cold even faster. It's okay to rub them together. Do not blow in your hands when you're out in the cold weather camping, especially because there's kind of a fine line where a winter camping thing could potentially become a survival situation. I mean, because normally when we're all out camping, 90% of the time you're going to have an out if you do get too cold. But a winter camping situation can turn into a winter or cold weather survival situation if you make the wrong choices. Also, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Reflectix for a sleeping pad. In my vehicles, I always have more sleeping, and I prefer blankets, mostly because we're a family and we can all huddle together. If you've got 3 people with a couple of blankets and some Reflectix under them and 5 or 6 blankets on top, that body heat is going to help a lot. The whole get naked thing, I think that's just a complete rubbish myth. Leave your clothes on.
I will
Just
argue.
my opinion. Okay, just my opinion.
If your underclayers are damp from sweat, which you may not think about it, it will actually pull your heat out. That's why I was going to argue with Kaylin's idea about putting snow in a bottle. If I'm trying to conserve energy, I do not want to put the cold in with me. I want to conserve my heat. I will not do that. I always change clothes before I get in the sleeping bag, because that way it very well sucks to do, but that way you're getting the moisture that is in that underlayer off, and that way you'll stay warmer.
Okay, I will agree with you on that point, Willie. I absolutely will.
There's a fine. I'm not saying sleep naked. I'm saying change your clothes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely change your clothes. And when I agreed with Kaylin, like if I was going to put say a bottle full of snow, I would probably put it in my coat pocket and let it thaw out really slow so I wasn't putting that cold against my body.
And mix it with the water you have already.
Jeremiah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was something I learned from Jeremiah. Change your socks. Absolutely. Change your socks before you go to bed. That is huge. And then the other thing I learned from Jeremiah is eat, if you have food, right before going to bed.
Yes. And eat a lot if you can.
Yeah.
If you have it to eat a lot right before bed, because your body creates heat by digesting food, and it will help keep you warmer.
Yeah. Willie, what else? Other suggestions you have?
I usually take like a Nalgene bottle and put hot water in it, put it in a sock, and throw it down in the bottom of my sleeping bag. Helps maintain the heat a little bit. I have this problem with my toes are always cold from an incident when I was young, and my feet are always cold. My feet are cold right now sitting in my house. That I just always have problems with it. That I either throw a heat thing in the bottom or hot water or something. I just helps maintain your body heat all night. Sorry, awesome. I keep having people are talking to me. I'm not just ignoring everybody.
We do have a couple more people that came in. Welcome, Kyle Lutz, Mario Mosen, and Bearded CB82. So, okay, now. What do you do? Now, you had said don't get naked, right? What do? You fall in the water. What's the first thing you guys want to do?
Take your clothes off and get them dry.
Yeah.
But you also, if you fell in water like today where it was 20-some below zero, it'd be hard to do, but you'd have to have somewhere to get warmed up also. You'd have to have a fire or something, because otherwise, I mean, I was outside watering animals, and the waterers were freezing over in about 10 minutes. So you know your clothes are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So they'd stand up on their own when you got done. But it's just, I would probably go out of my way to make sure I don't fall in water when it's that cold.
I think to take the wet
clothes off. Jordan, thank you for coming out. We'll talk to you later. Bye, Jordan. All right.
Yeah.
And welcome, corn fed. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny.
I was going to say, I think the mental hurdle once your clothes were wet to take them off, even if you knew you were putting on dry clothes immediately afterwards, I think that mental hurdle would be really tough to get over for just about anybody. Because you know that you're going to be super cold until you get those dry clothes on, and it's going to take quite a while to warm back up if you don't have a fire.
Yeah. You know, that's the same thing as like at night when you're in your hammock and you need to go, or in your tent, you need to go to the bathroom, just go. Right? You just go, no matter how cold it is. Why wait, lay there like, oh man, you know, so it's hard. It's hard to be like, God, I gotta get out and you know, go use the bathroom or whatever. But okay. So out in the cold right now, I mean, there's a lot of snow, dampness, everything. Best way to start fires, guy.
Well, for me, I keep a fire kit in all my vehicles. I keep a fire kit in my get home bag, bug out bags, all of that. A ferro rod is part of my.
You got to tell us. Yeah, tell me your fire kit. Yeah, people don't know what's in your kit.
Okay, well, my main kit that kind of, a Bic lighter, exactly. I always have a lighter with me. I always have a ferro rod with me. The smaller fire kits that I have will always have some form of tinder, whether it be, I believe it's pronounced Cecil, which is what they wrap cat posts with, or some kind of jute twine or something like that. The problem with that is it flashes really fast. It's got a really fast burn time. I also keep birch bark in most of my kits. My big fire kit has everything from Bic lighters to birch bark to fat wood, stuff that I know that I can sustain a flame long enough that even if I'm dealing with questionable tinder and kindling, that it will still light. Because, well, at least I know us three know that birch bark, that stuff's like nature's gasoline.
All right, Willie, you?
I usually have a lighter in the vehicle. I don't really carry much of a fire kit because if I need to, I have gasoline and spark from an engine. I could make gas or make fire. Paper shop towels and gasoline will make a hell of a fire in a hurry. But you're just one of them that you're like, I live in the Midwest. I don't have birch trees anywhere close. I can't get birch bark. I do have pine. We do have a lot of cedar, which you can pull the bark off and use it just as good. But in a winter weather issue, a lot of times I don't like to start. That diesel fuel works really good. I'm all about if you can cheat and make good fire quick.
Well, for me, I'm fortunate in that the part of Iowa that I live in, we do have some birch trees. So when I see birch bark, even if I'm just out on a day hike, I collect it up, stick it in my pocket.
I understand. I wish we had some around here, but I haven't seen one in 15 years.
You have river birch over in your area, correct, Johnny?
Yes.
And river birch does not actually light as fast as silver birch and stuff, but it still does light. Yeah, it does.
It's better.
There's actually a camping/hunting area that I found about a half an hour north of me where there's actually some white birch growing.
Awesome.
We had some in a church parking lot, but they died of disease. So that was 30 years ago. But before I knew I could take it.
Yeah. There's a subdivision here in Ankeny that has all white birch, but they're all planted. You know what I mean? They were all planted there because they wanted to name their subdivision White Birch Subdivision. So
I keep thinking I need a couple for the yard just because.
I'm also a huge fan of putting Vaseline soaked cotton balls in small pill bottles, and I toss one of those in each of my fire kits.
It's great. It's a great fire starter.
That is my favorite. A ferro rod.
And it costs almost nothing.
Yeah. and it lasts a while you're putting twigs on and all that
Yes, it
stuff.
gives
I
you.
do like.
Yep,
Yeah, Kyle said that.
exactly.
Cotton balls and Vaseline, and so I was like, yeah, absolutely. Um,
Not gasoline, diesel fuel.
Diesel fuel, yeah, diesel.
Diesel does not go boof. Fire goes poof,
Right?
burns, or gas goes poof and burns really super fast. It's hard to get it on. Diesel fuel is way better. It works better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a slower burn rate. I think is what you're saying.
It's
I
harder
remember
to
that.
start, but it burns a long time.
That was the night that we had the live stream out at the property, and I was like, man, it is cold here, and you went and got diesel, and I was like, oh shoot, it's gonna explode. So Willie explained to me that no, it will not explode. Don't freak out, Thack. And then we did have a really nice fire going. The smell, not too bad at all. So
Like a semi driving by.
yeah, yes, Vaseline, not gasoline.
What Kyle said.
Gas bad. There's a lot of funny as hell videos with gas.
Cornfed wants to know, does diesel burn hotter?
I'm not actually sure on it. I would think it. I honestly don't know. I would almost think gas burns hotter, but for a shorter amount of time. Diesel would probably burn lower and for longer.
And I would like slower for longer at that point. Just depending, if I'm dealing with marginal materials to build the fire with, I would like a longer flame.
Okay, so Bearded CB, who is a truck, he's a truck diesel mechanic. He says diesel burns lower temperature.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't for sure.
Awesome. So Kyle agrees. Not as hot, but burns longer. Awesome. Welcome, Creative Redundancy. CR.
What's up, CR?
Hello.
Oh, Jordan came back. There you go.
I actually made some notes for this. There's a couple of points that I wanted to touch on.
Go for it. Yes, absolutely.
So we were talking about the scenario about, what if you're in your car and your car breaks down? I wanted to talk a little bit about whether you're camping or in a survival situation, the whole group versus solo thing. Because I feel like solo, that you're the person that you have to rely on, versus the group where you can divide tasks up, but then there's more mouths to feed and water. And what is the trade-off? I'd like us to have a little bit of a discussion about that.
Go for it. I'll let you lead it.
Okay. So for me, because I've been on more than, I don't even know how many, solo cold weather camping trips. Whereas I feel like, so I have less mouths to feed. And if I'm on a camping trip, I'm obviously taking what I deem as enough food, potentially a little bit extra for just in case. But in a survival situation, I almost feel like, and heck, even camping sometimes, like we've all been camping together, and it makes it a lot easier, I think, on everybody if you can divide up tasks. Like Thack, I know that you are all about cutting up firewood. You are the most cutting up firewoodist person I have ever known in my life. You are just all about that. And then you allow other people to focus on other tasks. I don't know. I think there's kind of a trade-off. And I'm just kind of curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I'll let you go first, Willie, so I can think of my answer.
I agree. Both sides have their place. If you're out by yourself, you don't need as much resources. If you're out with a group, odds are you need more resources, but you have more people to help do it. It's a trade-off. It makes sense to me, but it's one of them. It's about the same, but it's not.
Yeah.
Right, it's kind of 6 one way, half dozen the other, and they both have
Yeah.
their pros and their cons.
So I personally okay. I'm a jerk. So I actually like to camp alone. I like to do things alone. I like to rely on just myself. I'm though I sit back and try to learn as much as I can from people. I feel I have an alpha personality, and if somebody's not doing as much work as me, I'm gonna say something. There's gonna be some arguments, right, Johnny? You and I argue about every damn thing.
Well, once in a while, a timer 13.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, I'm just that type of person that I know I can rely on myself. I know where my strengths and my weaknesses are. So, would I want to have my wife with me? Absolutely not. Because I know her strengths and her weaknesses. My wife is a workhorse. She will work her butt off. But I have to help her learn, in those type of situations. If we were just camping, absolutely, that's the time to learn. But in a survival situation, I want to rely on myself and myself alone. That's not the time to learn, right? So there's mine. Camping, learn stuff, absolutely big group, have fun. A survival, I'd rather be alone.
And for me, with camping, there's a lot of times I want to camp by myself just because I need that solitude. For me, there's just something mentally about getting outdoors and just doing my own thing, even if it's just an overnighter. But then again, I really love it when we get together in bigger groups. And when I say bigger groups, I mean like a dozen or so, like our typical groups. But in a survival situation, I might like to have one other person that I knew what they were doing, just for the morale factor.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. To have
Absolutely.
somebody to talk to, somebody to be like, you know what, dude, this sucks.
Awesome. We got here. Sorry, guys, I am not keeping up with the.
I gotta run upstairs. Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, we'll still be here, Willie.
I know. I gotta help put the toddler in bed.
Oh.
Okay, understood.
Well, she hasn't seen Dad in 2.5 days, so yeah.
She's just being ornery, so I'll be right back.
Yep. So, what was that saying about firewood, Johnny? What was that? Oh, it keeps you warm 4 ways, right?
I've always said it kept you warm 3, but that's just my take on it. And I say it makes you, and here's my 3. It makes you warm when you're gathering it. It makes you warm when you're burning it because the fire provides warmth. And it also cooks food, which warms you internally. Those are my 3.
Yep. I think my 4th was when you're cutting it. I guess that's the same as gathering.
Yeah, and that's my thing, but that's always kind of been my take on it. Is those are the things. And talking about that, especially in my kits, and when I say kits, it could be a kit that's a bag this big. That might just be my EDC. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody probably does, but EDC is everyday carry. I want everything that I have in there to be able to do at least 3 things for me, except for fire. And I want at least 3 ways to make fire in every go bag, get home bag, whatever, I want at least 3 ways minimum to make fire, because fire does a lot for me. It keeps me warm, it cooks my food, it melts the snow, so that I can have water. And if I'm cold weather camping, I want to drink warm or semi-hot water, as opposed to drinking cold water, which is the opposite of what I feel like I want to do in the summertime.
Absolutely. You know what's funny is Kyle Lusk out there keeps making fun of me because I hate the bow drill. I hate bow drill. That's right. I hate bow drill. I was in Kentucky and oh my God, he's gonna kill me. I forgot his name. Huge channel too. Man, I forgot his name. But anyways, he actually gifted me a bow drill set. I could not get that fire going. I had to actually switch out, and then BJ from Bearded CB82 actually had to switch in, and then he was still struggling to get that bow drill going. And I mean, yeah, I hate it. You have to have the right spindle. You have to have the right conditions. There can't be moisture in the air. So Kyle Lusk, living in Georgia, doesn't get a foot of snow like we do. You know what I mean?
Well, and for me, I absolutely stink at fire with sticks, whether it be a bow drill, hand drill, whatever. But I will, like in my fire kits that I keep in all, and I'll just throw one in my vehicle glove box. I'll keep a couple of Bic lighters that have zip ties around them so the button can't accidentally get depressed. Fire steels, like my big main fire kit, which is the big fire kit. I have 3 ferro rods in there. One of them was a gift from you and Brenda, which was the ferro rod itself, I believe you guys got from Nathan 4071. And that thing throws sparks like mad. And then I kept that big piece of, I think it's chert that you gave me.
Brenda said that ferro rod was not from Nathan. That was hers.
Okay. Anyway, it's a really good, that ferro rod throws sparks like mad. That's in there, and it's got a fat wood handle. I learned flint and steel from you, Thack. So I keep flint, and I used one of my old files. I ground down the teeth off it, just like you said to do.
Yep.
And that's another way. And I keep char cloth in there. So I want to have at least 3 ways that I know that I can make fire. And if I'm camping and it starts raining, I will go out and build a small fire in the rain just to prove to myself that I can.
Yes, absolutely. Practice, practice, practice. So, you know, Willie, if you don't have that lighter, what's your next fire?
Ferro rod.
Ferro rod. Yep.
Chainsaw.
You know what I actually like? I like those magnesium blocks that you kind of shave off. Man,
I like those also.
Yeah, they spark hard. Hold on. Let me go to Willie here.
That a Coghlan's?
This one's not, but the other one is. But it's got the magnesium on the one side of it.
Mm. Nice.
Because the Coghlan's, they don't. If I get it
okay,
right,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I had a few that had. Okay, I had a few that does that.
And this one doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some of the like magnesium bars that have a ferro rod on one side of them. And besides being able to scrape the magnesium off the one side, and you want to use a lot more of the magnesium, but it gives you a handle to hold on to.
Hold on, Willie.
It's such a small, tiny ferro rod.
I got big ferro rods too. They're awesome.
Yeah.
It's on my note. I've never used it.
I don't have anything that size. The biggest one that I have is the one that I got from Thack and Brenda.
My friend that used to teach me about kydex and stuff always said, the ferro rod on this is for emergencies. You don't use it unless you're an emergency. You have one to play with. Don't use them all. It's there. You need it. that way and they don't rattle, because his issue was always rattles.
You know, that
Rattle
was,
I can live with, but it makes sense to save it.
yeah. You know, one of the cool things that when we were camping in Kansas with Lee Ralph, you remember that, Willie?
The wood block
Skeeter
with
Snell.
the cotton ball.
Yeah. Skeeter Snell actually did a hand drill.
A
He
hand
did it
drill.
really- Yep. And then, what was that lens?
The Fresnel lens, the big magnifying glass.
Yeah, we had a Fresnel
I want to
lens.
play with one of them. I've done it before, but you got to have the right sun to do it. You have to have the right
Agreed.
conditions for it.
But what was that
Agreed.
last one with the two boards?
It was
Fire
cotton
roll.
ball with the fire
Right.
roll. It had the cotton
Yeah.
ball and ashes on it, and you rub it back and forth between two boards, and the friction actually catches the cotton ball on fire with nothing more than a cotton ball and some ash.
Yes, and it has to be the fine ash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, but that was really cool to see because I was like, what? So he did it too.
Yep.
Lee did it, and so did Skeeter. So they just had two pieces of wood broken from a pallet or something like that. They took the cotton ball, opened it up, put the ash in, and rolled it by hand first, right, Willie?
Yep.
Yep. And
To
then
get
they
everything
just
going
rolled
the
it.
right direction.
Yep. And then they got it going the right direction with the wood. Just kept going, and then he opens it up, and you see a little bit of smoke, and then all of a sudden he opens it up more and flame. That was cool to see in person.
When we all go camping next up, I really want you guys to show me.
Well,
Explain it like a 5-year-old if you need, but I want to know.
Hey, I'll bring
try.
the cotton balls. I'll bring the cotton balls. That is, I mean, it's cool.
It's an easy one that everybody actually should practice, because all it takes is a little bit of ash and two flat surfaces and a cotton ball.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you already had a fire and it went back out, you have everything. As long as you have a cotton ball and two smooth surfaces, you have everything you need to do it.
Well, I'll be
I
dipped.
told Brenda that when she does laundry from now on, don't take the lint out of my pocket.
Actually, Jeremiah said, everybody wants to save the lint. He says it's not as good as what it used to be, because most fabrics now have man-made in them.
Right.
They're not as good to catch on fire. So he was always saying it wasn't as good to use anymore, which I have to kind of agree with, depending on what you've washed, if it's worth saving or not.
So
Hey, I want to say welcome to Infantry Outdoors, guys. He just popped up. That is our guest next week. So say hi to Infantry.
Well,
hello.
Hey, Infantry. I'm actually going to have to work, but I will watch the replay like I do when I have to.
Right.
When I have to close on Tuesdays.
And I wanted to let you guys know. YouTube has done stuff where you guys can't really like sub to each other unless you go to each other's channel. But young Jordan Ralph is trying to get to 50 subscribers. So if you guys could help him out, I would really appreciate it. Jordan Ralph is trying to get to 50 subscribers.
I think I already did, but I'll have to check when we're done.
All right, fantastic. Yes, Jordan, we'll try and get you there as soon as we can, buddy.
What Brandon said.
There we go. Oh, where did he say? Cotton underwear.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can do that. It was with real cotton, right? Not processed, right? Really?
Well, it's a cotton ball is all it was. I've never tried it with that, but I don't know. We can try, I guess.
It was the fibers itself. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to try it. I got some extras upstairs. I'm going to try it.
Just for S's and G's, I want to try it with just some dryer lint, even though Jeremiah said that it wasn't as good. Just for S's and G's, I want to give it a go and see what happens.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We do use the dryer lint from the dryer. and Brenda makes these things with the candles, with the wax, and puts the
The
lid
fire
in there
starters.
in the egg carton, just like Sean says here. But he uses sawdust. But anyways, I find it hard to get that lint to catch
So
until
the
the wax.
process.
Even if you like fluff it up really good.
Right. You have to fluff it up better because one, our problem is we have dogs. Hair does not burn, it singes. You know
And
what
it
I'm saying?
stinks.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're out there, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I kind of agree with Willie. Now we have some old denim jeans and stuff that I'm pretty sure would probably light pretty quick because they're cotton.
I've
But they
been
have to.
saving mine so we could make some charcloth.
Yeah, I have a bunch of jeans for you if you want it.
I do too. I've been all of them that we've been throwing, or instead of throwing them away, I've just been saving them and cutting them in chunks, and I just got to take the time to do it.
Well, what I do is with the denim jeans is I wait till the knee splits out, and then once the knee splits out, I'll cut the legs off, and then those are my shorts for the winter. And the stuff from the knee down, then I'll cut that up into little, like 2 to 4 inch squares, and use that for charcloth.
Have you seen that one guy that took the leg part, and so he just split it down the back, and then he got some Velcro to sew on them, and he made those. What do you call them for when we go hiking and the wrap around our ankles? Waders.
Like
Gators.
Gators. That's it. Gators. So the guy did that, and I thought, well, that's pretty genius. Except for you're gonna still get wet. But he
I
had
think you'd have to
extra
Scotch guard the
protection.
heck out of it.
Yeah, but at least he got extra protection for his ankles and stuff, But
Right.
anyways,
None a little Thompson's water sealer wouldn't fix.
Right.
on one side, what is this? Do you always know what FNAF is? Jordan, I don't know.
FNAF.
It's his profile picture. I don't know. But anyways,
I can't see it. It's too small.
yes,
Yeah, it's way
infantry.
too small for me.
Fatwood is very, very good. Welcome, Midwest Mania Outdoors. Justin James, welcome. But big chicken can full of cool. All right. So some people, most of our viewers already know, best way to make charcloth. Go ahead, Willie.
A tin of some sorts that seals and heat.
And you let it burn
Yeah.
without oxygen, right? You let it heat up without oxygen.
tin can of some sorts that with a lid or something, a cookie tin, whatever.
I'm a big
A
fan of
small-
Altoids tins for that.
Why is that important? Tell me why that is important.
Otherwise, you just catch on fire and burn. You have
No,
to
I'm
char it
talking
like
about
making
charcloth.
charcoal.
Why is charcloth so important?
Oh, it
Because it
catches
takes a
fire
spark.
easier.
It takes a spark, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. I'm sorry.
And also, not all charcloth is created equal. Based on conditions, humidity, how you made it. I'm a big fan of Altoids tins when I make it, and I do not punch a hole in the top, but that's just the way that I do it. Doesn't make my way right or wrong. There might be a better way. I don't know. That's just the way that I do it.
I agree. Lee's method of rolling the denim before you do it's awesome because then you get nice big chunks of it.
Oh, that makes sense. I've not done it that way, but I'm going to start now.
Yeah,
So
you
what are you
just
talking
roll up
about?
the pieces of denim first and put them in your tin, and then you do it.
Oh.
And here
So-
I've been folding in all these years.
I have a giant chunk of punk wood that plain old Chuck gave me that I have not turned into charcoal yet, and I would love to do that. Maybe I'll
Bring it
bring
in
it.
March.
Yeah, I think I'll bring it into camp in March. Yeah,
I've
'cause
got
you know
some big
those.
tins if we need them.
Oh, I have. You remember those cookies, Dutchman's cookies, the round tin around Christmas time? I have those. I think that would work.
I've got a great big one.
I have a flat one.
I've got 2 of them great big popcorn tins like that.
Yeah, I think it should fit in that. It's pretty big. We may have to cut it up. And
I've got a whole bunch of old popcorn tins, so.
cool. All right, let's go back to I don't know what that means. Anyways, okay. So now we've already talked about staying warm. What is your best way of getting? So, what is your best water filter? If you
Buy
guys
it from the
needed,
store.
shut up, Willie.
I don't own one. I have a
Because I
Brady
know
in
I
the
have plenty of
refrigerator.
Sawyer minis. So, you guys think there's any difference between the Sawyer mini and the Life Straw?
I think they're the same, just different patterns.
Jeremiah liked one, but I forget which one it was because he said the other ones were all junk, and I don't have a clue because I don't go anywhere and really need to filter the water.
I like the Sawyer minis. I've never used a Life Straw. The problem with those is while they do filter out the microbes and protozoa and all that stuff, they don't filter out chemicals. They do make filters that will filter out chemicals, and that's especially important for those of us who live in farming areas, because every farmer out there, I'm sure Willie can back me up on this, are using some sort of chemicals on their crops. Maybe not necessarily in a greenhouse. I don't know how that works, but most farmers who are growing, acres and acres and acres of stuff will put chemicals on the plants to keep bugs away, fertilizer. None of that stuff, as far as I know, is good for humans. I do know that there are some filters out there that will filter that stuff out. I just don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Well, Bearded CB82 says that the Sawyer Mini uses charcoal elements to filter chemicals.
Yeah.
I do not know. I don't know. Because Jeremiah had told me before that he didn't like the Sawyer Mini because it does not filter like fertilizer germs. I think that's what he was telling me, right? The nitrates or whatever. I remember him telling me something like that. So
the reason I
Sean,
like the Sawyer Mini,
ding, that was my answer.
Yeah, the thing that I like about the Sawyer Mini is that you can screw it onto most pop bottles, water bottles. Well, most, when I say not so much the water bottles, unless you're getting like smart water or something like that, you can screw it onto the top of that and squeeze it through, and the threads match. That's why I like the Sawyer Mini. And even if it's not going to filter out everything, it's better than not doing anything at all.
okay, what were you ding-dinging, Sean? I mean, Willie?
I'm just going to go drink water out of a tile line. I know what farmers put on the ground. I also know what do you do when you build your own homemade filter. Sand, gravel, charcoal. Most of that's already going through. Most of the chemicals put on the ground or farm ground has a very short half-life. You don't have to worry about it as much as some people think. Some of them do stick around longer than others. I'm personally, you die of dehydration before you die of something you drank out of a tile line. If you pick and choose where you're getting it.
You want to
Because you're
tell
not
me
going
what
to
a
get any
tile line
bacteria.
is?
What?
What's a tile line?
The plastic tube that they put underneath the ground to take the excess moisture out of a field.
Oh.
I can show you one this summer.
Those big black ones.
Most of them are 4 to 6 inch
Oh,
that come out. A culvert would be big. I would not drink out of a culvert because it wouldn't, but I'll show you some water that comes out of a tile line. It'll be the coldest, best tasting water you've ever had. Not scared to drink
really?
it straight from the source. There's no animals up it, so you don't have to worry about animal contamination. I know where I live. I know what I'm going to do. But you can't do that everywhere.
There's actually a creek that runs about a block from my apartment, believe it or not, that's safe to drink out of. And I know that I can speak from experience because I have drinking out of it on quite a few occasions repeatedly and not gotten sick.
Well, just because you haven't gotten sick doesn't mean it's safe. There's an awful lot of animals that live there, and I always worry about animal contamination more so than the other stuff right away. Surface water, of course, I'd filter it and boil it if I have the opportunity just to make sure. But I'm always worried about animal E. coli. E. coli is really, really bad. You don't want it. It makes lots of people die. Animal waste has E. coli in it.
The particular stream I'm talking about is one of the only, I believe it is the only urban trout stream in the state of Iowa.
Trout will live where deer poop, people poo, animal poo, make you sicker than hell every time.
But I drank out of it every day for a week and never got sick.
Beavers poo, yeah, worms. Surface water I won't drink out of without doing something to it at all costs, because the Giardia is a little microscopic deal that comes from beavers. Beavers live in water. I don't take chances. Other places I will. I don't want to be sick.
Johnny, did you boil it? I mean,
if you boil it,
no, I drank it fresh out of the stream.
But
it tastes better through a Sawyer.
I wouldn't, but I don't want to get sick. I got too much other crap going on.
But
no pun intended, right?
Survival type situation, yeah. You drink what you can because yeah. But I would boil it if I could. Absolutely.
Boil it minimum.
Yep. Okay, hold on. You guys keep talking. I gotta let these dang dogs out of here.
And that, Willie, that's actually a good way to rehydrate without making yourself potential. It doesn't have to go through your entire system that way, but you're right, it will put hydration back into your system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's not I can't think of it as a pleasant thing, but I would rather be unpleasant than die.
You die it both ways, so.
And something else that I kind of made a note for myself that I wanted to talk about for this was the whole, food, shelter, water, fire thing. At one point, do you put one before the other? And I think it really depends on a situation or case by case basis, because shelter's obviously important. It's going to protect you from the wind, anything coming from overhead, weather-wise. But at what point does fire potentially become more important? Or, yes, ma'am, I will quiet down. Sorry, guys.
Okay, so
so
you guys did. No, go ahead.
So the whole, fire, food, shelter, water thing. Obviously, water is more important than food, because you can live quite a while without eating something. While food is still super important, hydration is, putting fluids in your system, because you'll die short of 3 days with no water. You have to have that, but in certain cases, you have to have fire to make the water. Because I've been on camping trips with you guys when we were melting ice to have water to heat up to have coffee the next morning.
Yeah. Yep. So that was actually my next topic was what did you think was most important? So you said water first, fire,
Um,
and then shelter.
it depends on the situation. I mean, I really think,
Right
um,
now, right now, this is the situation. Right now, you're outside. This weather,
okay,
this temperature.
right now I get dumped outside this temperature. My first thing is a shelter to get the wind off of me. My second thing is going to be a fire because a fire is going to help me to melt snow. Hopefully, I can figure out some kind of container to put said snow in because you can boil water in a plastic bottle. I've done it. You can boil water in a styrofoam cup. I've done it. You've got to be a little bit careful, but it will do it. The water will cool the styrofoam fast enough to keep the styrofoam from melting completely through as long as you are crazy careful about it. But those would, in these weather right now, if let's say my wife tells me, you know what, Johnny, we're done, dude. You're out in the snowbank. Um, my first priority is going to be to get the elements off me, whether it be weather, stuff coming from the sky, things like that. My next thing is going to be a way to stay warm, beating fire, and then a way to stay hydrated.
Awesome. So there's two people that just showed up. I wanted to say hi to them real quick. Feriana's vlogs and her mom, Valerie Reese. Welcome to the live stream. And okay, Willie, your thoughts. What comes first?
Again, I have to agree. It depends on situation. Right now, definitely shelter because the wind will kill you before you die of thirst or starvation. You'll
Absolutely, it
freeze
will.
to death. Your face will freeze off. Your fingers will freeze off. Shelter first every time. In today's weather, put me in the middle of summer. Water's probably going to hit first because it don't matter if you're in a shelter or not. You're still sweating part of the time. So that's where I have to agree. It depends on the
Hi, Valerie.
situation, but I definitely shelter. You can live quite a while without water, even though you get miserable. Definitely shelter and probably fire, then water, then food. Personally, today.
And I'm saying what Willie's saying. I agree with that wholeheartedly. At least, like, right now, today, this evening, but middle of summer, then I'm gonna reprioritize things.
Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, a lot of people are basically do we watch Naked and Afraid? No, I don't watch. I have seen it, but a lot of that. Um.
You have to work with Ma Nature and not be against her.
Oh, Kyle. All right. So Feriana says that she agrees. She was shelter, heat, water, food, and water later. It's well, there you go. Her daughter doesn't have. Okay, so here's what's funny. Down in Texas right now, my family lives down there. They are a lot of them. They're doing rolling electric to try and
Blackouts.
yeah blackouts. That's it. That's it. And so and I understand that and all that, but it's funny that my family my family themselves don't have a what do you call it? Power banks for their phones or anything. They, yeah, the kids have are going crazy because they don't have internet to play on their little tablets, right? So I finally see them going outside and playing in the snow. So Willie, you have a family in there. Prioritize what you do. If let's say you're out of power, prioritize what you would do.
Start a fire in the basement in my wood stove. Keep it warm.
So you're prepared. You have a wood stove.
Yep, and we've got a hand pump across the road at the well, so I can pump water and bring water to the house in buckets. So then we could still flush the toilet, and so we wouldn't have to worry about that. And in this house I live in is the house I lived in, and it was either 92 or 93 if I remember right. Back 91, 92. We had a horrible ice storm. We were out of power for a week, 2 weeks. That you just kept the basement going, and if I didn't worry about my cell phone at that time because I didn't have one. But we played candles, and we have the gas lamps, so we had light. We have a propane stove. I can light it. We can light it. It just doesn't have the electric lighter, so we could still light the stove and cook on it. No big deal to me.
All right.
And
Well,
if I needed to charge my phone now, I do have a power bank, but I can always go out and start a vehicle and just plug it in out there.
yeah.
On
So,
that,
Johnny, you're in a different situation. You're in an apartment. You're not, so you can't have a wood stove. What are your what would you assess and do first?
okay, so when we had the derecho, we were without power, I think, for the better piece of about 3 days. So here's what I did, because I'm a coffee drinker. I have the random empty coffee can laying around. So I took a old school term for it, a church key, which is an old school can opener, and I popped 4 holes around the bottom, and I popped 4 holes around the top, and then I cut the bottom out of it. And you guys have seen you two at least, Thack and Willie, you've seen my hobo stove. I didn't, all of mine are burnt up. So I went and got some sterno cans, and I set one end in the bottom of a cast iron skillet so that way the heat wouldn't transfer onto my end table in my living room. Put the sterno can on that, lit it, put the stove down over top of it, put a larger cast iron skillet on top, and made dinner. It also created quite a bit of heat. And then the reason I cut the bottom out of it is that gives me a way to put the sterno can out, because I don't want to pick up the hot can. You take the bottom that you cut out, you drop it in, puts the sterno out.
Awesome.
And I was able to cook for my family for 3 solid days on a can and a half of sterno. It probably cost me $3 to cook for my entire family, me, Nancy, my wife, and my son, for 3 days to have hot meals prepared for us. I really need to do a video about how I did that. I did take some pictures of it, but it worked. It got it done in a pinch, and it made me very thankful for having plenty of cast iron just randomly sitting around.
Willie, we're going to have to remember to ask infantry to tell us this story next week. 16 days without power. That's
I've never done 16 days, but I did 10.
We did 6 days during the derecho. Yeah. Was it 6 days? I don't remember. Brenda is gone now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Something else I would like to talk about is power banks. And
yeah.
I was really proud of this one when I first got it, because this is 12,000 milliamps.
Hold on, let me put you on single screen there, Johnny. Go ahead, show us.
Yeah, this power bank I got from a company called Bud K. I'm not sponsored by them. I do order from them occasionally. It's 12,000 milliamps. It's got a light on it. It's got a solar panel, which is really more of a maintainer than anything else. This will charge most cell phones. Most cell phones have pretty small batteries in them, 2,000 to 3,000 milliamps. So you can typically get on your average smartphone 3 or 4 charges out of it. I recently purchased I'm going to show you the box. I don't actually have it with me. I recently purchased this little jewel. This is a power bank that's powerful enough to start a car. It is 600 amps, which equates to 600,000 milliamps. Once the cold is gone, I'm going to do an experiment and a review to find out how many times it will recharge the battery on my cell phone. Reason being, my cell phone has an exceptionally large battery as far as cell phones go.
Awesome.
The battery on my phone, I only have to charge my smartphone twice a week. And cool. I will stream YouTube for hours in the evening. For hours. Just streaming it.
Great.
Yeah, the battery on my cell phone, I think, is 6,000 milliamps. So I only have to charge it twice a week. The last time I upgraded last year, about, I don't know, I guess 10, 11 months ago, I told them I wanted two things. I wanted a really good camera and I wanted a really big battery. And that's what I wanted in a cell phone. And now I have a cell phone that'll shoot in 4K and I only have to charge it twice a week.
Cool. You know, that first power bank that you showed, so Brenda does not do well in the cold. So I bought her a battery operated sleeping bag. So with one of those power banks, it'll heat her sleeping bag for 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work on regular batteries. It works from the power bank. You know.
How many milliamps is the power bank?
It has to be at least 2,000.
Okay. Well, this one, I think, this first one that I showed you, this first one that I showed you, I think, is 12,000. The second one that I showed you that is powerful enough to literally jumpstart a big block Chevy engine about 8 times is 600,000.
I got mine's 25,000, and it's got a fold-out solar, so it collects it better.
I want one.
And it does
have. Wow, that's small. That's awesome.
And it does have the 2 USB ports and the micro port to charge it also. Sean bought it for me for my birthday.
Very nice.
Well, that is awesome.
Well,
I always forget to take it with me though, but
yeah, this one, it has 2 USB ports. So you can charge 2 things at the same time. The bigger one, which is, I don't know, arguably,
I almost bought that one that you have for jump starting here last year, but I talked myself out of it.
The other one that I have, the big one that will jumpstart a car, is arguably a little bit wider and a little bit longer and a little bit thicker. Not a lot. I mean, you can stick it in your coat pocket and be fine, and it comes with jumper cables.
Yep.
And I went from a battery that went whoa. I hooked it up and it started it off just like I put a fresh battery in the car.
Well, CR has a very good tip right there. Keep extra USB cables with your power banks so that you have spares. You know what? I actually keep all different kinds of those ends. You know, the USB ports or whatever. You know, some of them have the triangular-ish. Some of them have the big ones. Some of them have. So I actually keep a pack of different sizes for different electronics that I need it for.
Oh, absolutely. So, I keep with both of my power banks. I only have 2. I keep a mini A, a mini B, and a mini C with all of them.
Awesome. So what I love about my truck is that it doesn't have to be on, you know, to charge. So and then I got that new power, wherever it is now, thing that so now sometimes, and I remember, Johnny, you did a video about one of your power banks actually kind of melting, right?
Yeah. I had a very much smaller one that Jeremiah had given me. And I had this bright idea. I thought I just had my poop in a group. I thought I really had it together. And it was dead. And I had this genius idea that I was going to lay it on the dash of my car on a summer's day and let the sun just beat on it. Bad idea. Because it got so hot that lithium ion battery inside swelled up, and the inside of my car smelled like battery, like bad battery, bad battery for a week and a half afterwards, because basically the battery swelled up and pretty much exploded inside my car. Do not lay something like this on the dash of your car. When I'm camping, I will hang it on the base of my tripod, or sometimes put it on like where my phone mount is right now and aim it towards the sun. Do not lay it on the dash of your car. Do not lay it on the rear deck lid. Bad idea. It gets too hot and it's bad for the battery.
Hey, Willie, how long does it take to charge your power bank up with that solar?
I've never had it cleared dead and just relied on the solar, but I know it jumps up fairly quick with it on a good sunny day. I'd had it probably half, and it didn't take very long, just letting it sit on a picnic table.
Can you tell us the name and the brand on that? Because I want one. Don't tell Brenda, though.
Ask Sean. It doesn't really have a name on it.
Hold on. There you are. All it says, I can't read it. It says solar charger. That's all it.
Yeah, and it's a model FSP009. Made in China.
And, well, not all bad things come out of China.
Okay, where's my camera at? I can't.
There you are. Slowly. Oh,
yeah,
stop.
All I can read is solar charger.
Yeah, we can't see it. Oh, there it is. I see it.
FSP005. That part number will probably cross-reference if you pop it into Google.
There's probably an ROHS at the bottom there is what I'm guessing, but I don't know.
Yep, there's an ROHS at the bottom.
Thank you, Sean. Sean's going to send me the link.
This power bank here, I actually did a review on this after I had it for a couple of months, because I did some experiments on, how long it took to charge, how many times it would charge my cell phone at the time. I've had it a couple of years. One of the experiments I did was from dead flat. If I laid it flat in a south-facing window in my apartment, how long would it take it from dead flat to a full charge? And it took almost a week. So in my opinion, these solar banks like mine that don't have the flip out things like Willie does, this is more of a maintainer than an actual charger. Okay. It has got me through up to 4 days of camping and filming and not running out of battery on my cameras and phone. But that was awesome. Like hanging it in the sun during the day, things like that. And this was like $45, I think, with shipping. And then the big one that I just bought about a week ago, that was like $90. Awesome. And I want to do a review and find out how many times that will recharge a cell phone and how long it'll actually last on a camping trip.
Great. Okay, any more words of advice for people that want to camp in cold weather or get stuck in a cold weather situation?
Don't eat yellow snow.
What are you talking about? I've been eating the yellow snow for years, and I turned out okay, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Got to have a little bit of a sense of humor.
Well, somebody just sent me that. It's a 4-panel solar charger. That's what he called it. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle.
He said he had the same one.
Ah, yes. He says it. Just look up, and it's that high so 25 4-panel charger. Thanks, Kyle.
I'm
Hey
gonna have
guys.
to check that out. I want one too.
Yeah. Well, there's
I
some
want a
advice.
solar panel and a couple deep cycle batteries because that'll kill everything else you got.
Right.
What's a deep cycle battery? Tell me.
For like a boat, it's made to
Yeah.
be charged and lowered. The charge in it is made to go up and down so it don't burn up as quick as a regular battery.
Right. It'll
Awesome.
cycle more times.
Oh, we'll see.
Yes, don't let
lot more
your
times.
cold kills electronics in a hurry.
Yes,
That's
it does.
why I did this series, this Talk with Thack series, is because I don't know a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I get people on here and I can just hammer you guys with questions. Every guest that I get, that's why Corey and Great American Survival, I was hammering them with a ton of fishing questions because I want to learn how to fish like them. So I bring you guys on and I'm like, yes, I can hammer them with more questions. That's why I will never get out of my car and open up the hood and go, I wonder what's wrong with this. Because I know I don't know the answer. That's why I call Willie up. Willie, my car is doing this sound. What's wrong with it, Willie? Or I say, Sean, there's a boot missing from the truck. What? He's like, what boot? But I figured it out. Rack and pinion boot. Hey, yay for me. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys. This has been super awesome. I hope a lot of our people learned stuff, and if they did, and I want to thank them for actually, giving quite a few tips themselves that are on the side chat. But before we go, Willie, reminder again.
March 26th, 27th, and 28th, we are having the second annual Country Prepper Memorial Campout. Everyone is welcome. I can get you arrangements with a hotel if you don't want to camp out and rough it with this. If you just want to come hang out and be cool. I think his is a Schumer, but sorry, I was answering his question while he said it.
Thanks, Brandon.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at stevebrahms@gmail.com. It is in my About page on my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe to me for more information because I'm going to try to get a video of it here sometime after it warms up and the snow's not as deep.
Which should be, I think it's Saturday, right? We go above freezing.
Yeah,
I was actually above freezing today.
It's going to be above freezing, but I still got to get rid of the several feet of snow to get to where I need to be.
Yes, Johnny, your area was a lot warmer than. When was
today was the first time that we've been above zero for the last 10 days.
We didn't hit zero yet.
Well, we hit 7 degrees today. We did.
I didn't think we were supposed. I don't know what it is. I didn't look. I was out.
With the wind chill, we were still -9.
Well, I knew that we had a cold snap here in Cedar Rapids when I walked outside on my meal break today to have a cigarette. And I know that's not politically correct on YouTube, but that's what I did on my lunch break. And I was like, oh, it's kind of a nice day out. I'm going to look at what the temperature is. It was 9 degrees.
Yeah, we hit 7 over here. Yeah, which was nice. It was only 7 for like half an hour. Then
it wasn't 9 degrees here for very long, but it was nice when it was out.
Wow, look at that. Canada was warmer than us. They hit 40.
I'm jealous.
Virginia hit 50.
Honestly, I'm okay with the snow. I was not okay with the -degree weather without the wind chill. We were minus 25 this morning before the wind chill.
That was horrible.
Like 3 days ago, we were minus 40 with the wind chill.
Yeah, we've been about there for about 3 days. The weather temperature kept going up and down, but with the wind chill, it was a consistent somewhere right there in the minus 30-ish range for 3-4 days. And I had to go out and do chores and everything else, and froze my beard a couple times and had to keep warm up. And
I've had frost in my beard a couple of times over the last week.
Well, I kept going outside and doing stuff and coming back in and warming up and doing stuff inside, then go back outside instead of just doing it and getting it done.
So if some of you that came later on, you guys don't know, Willie was actually at work for 55 hours to keep his greenhouses going.
I did take video. Sure. I will edit it and get it up soon. So if you want to see what I did, you can. It'll be on YouTube here soon.
Johnny, when are you getting a new video up? You haven't had one up in a while.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully real soon. And I've got some cool ideas for your Talk with Thack Thursdays that don't necessarily have to be seasonal especially about urban camping and stealth camping in urban areas. Because that's kind of my area where I shine.
What?
I like living in the middle of nowhere. It's really nice. Ice fishing tournament this weekend for anybody local.
Ice fishing.
First, biggest live fish wins a pistol if you're eligible to win it.
That's the hard part, is bringing a live fish in this weather. I know.
That way you can't go to the store and buy one.
That's one thing I love about ice fishing. You catch a fish, you just throw it out the window and let it freeze. You don't have to worry about the damn fish no more. But I am ice fishing tomorrow. I know that. Some of you guys don't know. After almost 10 years, I quit my job and I'm starting a new job on Friday. So I have today, tomorrow, and Thursday off, and so I am going to go ice fishing tomorrow. But I want to say thank you to Willie and Johnny for being on.
Congratulations on your new gig.
Thank you. I will be working for the state now, which is.
I'm in trouble.
So, anyways, guys, thank you again. I absolutely appreciate your knowledge, and I learned a lot from it today. And of course, you guys should know Willie is on with me every week until he gets too busy to be on with.
I need one of those T-shirts.
I got one for you.
They're like $25.99 plus shipping.
I'm game with that. Anyway, Thack, thanks for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it. It's been an amazing time.
This was actually supposed to be Johnny's night to work, and he rearranged things around so that he could be on tonight. So I appreciate you doing that, brother.
I traded a shift with a coworker who's really awesome, and I just really wanted to be here, especially for this, because I love cold weather camping, and I've been in cold weather survival situations. So I really wanted to be here for this.
I think we're going to have it again, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? We're going to this is going to be a topic that a lot of people want to know more about. Hi, Nona. Sorry, we are about to wrap things up. Again, Willie, thank you. I'll see you again next week. Folks, if you guys don't know, Infantry Outdoors will be with me next week. He is an outdoorsman with a disability, and I will let him talk to you guys about that. I have the utmost respect for Infantry Outdoor DJ. Anyways, guys, thank you again. Hi, chat. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
Thanks everybody for dropping in.
Until next time, may all your adventures be A-OK.
Absolutely.